Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome back to Blackbushe. We're here again. It's incredible, isn't it? You wait all these years for a good version of Blackbushe to be in your simulator and to come at the same time. So here we are today in Blackbushe Airport by LN Design, and they've just done a fantastic job with it. I can't fault it. It looks absolutely great, and so nice to have a good version of Blackbushe in the simulator. So Blackbushe started off originally as RAF Hertford Bridge and was changed to RAF Blackbushe due to confusion over a similar aerodrome over in Norfolk. I'm not going to go into the history here. I'm going to put a link below. There's some fantastic information at this Facebook community. Everything you wanted to know about it is there, and a great community it is too. Now, something that's quite significant about this version of Blackbushe that we have here is that the developer has really done the fantastic gesture of, for the first 3 months of the product being launched, they're going to give everything to charity. They're going to give everything to this charity, which is Aerobility. Now, I'm going to read straight from the Aerobility information. They enable disabled people of all ages to turn the dream of flight into an exhilarating and fulfilling reality. Our ethos of full inclusivity means we support people across the entire spectrum of disability without exception. We know flying can provide a level of challenge and exhilaration difficult to find elsewhere. We also provide opportunities for disabled people to enjoy a wide range of aviation activities, from ground-based experience days through to one-on-one training and instruction to secure a private pilot's license. Absolutely fantastic. They've got the equipment, they've got the people, they've got everything there to do this task, and they do it extremely well. And how great is it that we've got a developer who is coming in and helping to support such a wonderful charity steeped in aviation, and that's what we're all about. The scenery itself is beautiful. I think anyone who knows Blackbushe will feel very much at home here. It's got the right atmosphere about it. I love the little details. I love the feeling of it. Like, here we are, this is an evening or a late afternoon flight for today. We've got no weather set, so we've got a nice blue sky, but the lighting, the textures, everything has a really nice feel to it, and you're going to feel right at home here. So what we're going to do today is a very quick flight over the aerodrome, airfield, whatever you want to call it, and just get an appreciation for what it looks like from the air. We've seen what it looks like from the ground. Let's see what it looks like from the air, and then we can get an idea of what it's all about. Now, with the scenery, I've said it before, what we're trying to do is get something that makes our simulator look as realistic as possible, and this is why it's quite important that we have something that we can use to create that sense of immersion, and we'll talk about that more once we get up into the air. And Blackbushe is a cracking little airfield. If you don't know it, it's a cracking little airfield to fly GA from. There are some interesting airfields around here. You're also quite close to London as well. You've got Farnborough nearby, you've got White Waltham nearby for grass strips, Fair Oaks, Heathrow if you want to do an approach there. Really great location for doing some interesting flying. But today, as I say, we're just going to keep it local. We're going to take up the wonderful little XCub, which is a favourite of mine. The aircraft that come with Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment are pretty basic in terms of systems and flight modelling, but this is like a little Labrador that you want to give a tickle under the chin and go off and have an adventure with. It's a great fun. So let's get going. Okay, so we're in the Cub now. Let's get going. Don't want to mess about on the ground too long, because we just want to get up and have a look at Blackbushe from the sky. So any flying instructors watching this, you will cringe. I've got no checklist for this. Just going to do a very quick start up and let's get going. So we've got prop fully forward, mixtures rich, crack the throttle. We've got the fuel tank set to the left. Let's have the parking breakers on. Master's on, alternator, let's have ignition switches on there. We'll have the fuel pump on. At this stage we will put the nav lights on because we don't appear to have a beacon light. Okay. Yep. There we go. Ignition, fuel pressure rising and in the green. Everything else is looking tickety-boo. Avionics on. All looking good. Just have a quick check of the controls. Rudder, elevator, yeah, everything's full and free. Right. Let's get going. If this was A2A, we'd want to warm up the aircraft as well and do all that good stuff, but we're not at that level really with these where it's going to have any real impact. Okay, I'm going to switch the strobes on now as well at this point. Let's not go too far, sunshine. This is not the Le Mans 24 hours. Just a quick check. I haven't got AI on, so I'm not expecting to see anything coming in, but it's always worth having a little look. Get ourselves onto the runway. Not running ATC today either, so it's fairly simple. Go on, do a better job of getting onto the centre line. There we go. Okay, so quick look around. Everything's looking good. No issues. We'll have the landing light on, seeing as we're on a runway. Okay, let's give it some beans and get airborne. It's got that characteristic flight sim, or Microsoft Flight Sim twitchiness. Rotate. Come back on the RPM a little bit. And there we go. Yeah, the flight model at the moment, the ground handling tends to be very twitchy with rudders, or with the rudder pedals. I'm sure that will get ironed out if you've flown P3D, especially A2A, you know what I'm talking about. In the air it's not too bad, to be honest, but on the ground it doesn't seem to matter which aircraft you fly in this simulator. It's a little bit Mario Kart. So if you know the area, that's the I think that's the gravel pit, but it used to be forestry and then they dug it all up, and there we have Blackbushe over there. Now had a quick email chat with a developer today who's a nice guy, and he was explaining that this is obviously released now already, but there are improvements that he wants to make, and actually today he's already released a patch, and I think it's always great when you see a developer who's keeping on top of things and making these improvements. But I think, for example, like the British car auction site over there, he wants to revisit that and make some changes to it. Quick look there, yeah, let's come back on that a little bit. So there we have it. Looking pretty resplendent. Cannot believe we've got Blackbushes now in this simulator. All these years I have wanted a Blackbushe, and now two come along at the same time. Can airports be like buses? So we'll keep over this side here, don't want to annoy the locals, but that's Yateley over there, which is the local town. So we'll keep well clear of that. Of course, we've got no other air traffic, so we don't need to worry about flying around like an idiot in the overhead and possibly bumping into someone. Let's go down and have a look. I do love this Cub. It just is great for doing this kind of flying where you are just bombing around and having a look at stuff. Come back on the power a bit. Don't want to overspeed. I think this simulator has got a rudimentary modelling of overstressing the aircraft, and we don't want to do that. Say hello to everybody. So yeah, I think a cracking job with this. I think, as I've said in other videos, you know, scenery like this is important. If you're the type of flight simmer who flies the tube liners, then you know, you probably want a good Heathrow, and apart from that, you're more about just making sure you've got good aircraft systems with your airliners. Whereas if you like your GA, if you like doing you know, any kind of VFR flying, then this kind of scenery is great, because it just immerses you in the simulator that little bit more than if it looked like something out of a 1980s cartoon. And also, let's face it, if you wanted to, for example, practice circuits at Blackbushe, it would be a lot more interesting doing it looking at that than if you were looking at the default, which is enough that you know where you are, but it's not as good. It's not as realistic, and it's not as atmospheric by any stretch of the imagination. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make our simulators as realistic as possible to get you in that headspace of actually being in an aircraft and flying, which is what it's all about. Okay, so I think that's given us a pretty good look at the airport now. So we'll come back round and we'll shoot a quick approach. I've never flown at Blackbushe, so I'm not sure how they would normally do it by the book, but it certainly wouldn't be like this. Evening. Okay, so there you have it. That is there we go. That is how this fantastic version of Blackbushe is looking in the simulator. And as I say, don't forget, this is really helping a good cause, as I spoke about earlier on. And it's nice to see a developer, you know, getting involved with something like this and supporting them. And you know, let's hope that Aerobility really gets something out of this. So thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the channel again soon. Bye bye now.